World Cup is just special. Every single year, as soon as you walk through the gates, you see everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, everybody brings their absolute best. It's everything. Like if you play paintball, this is the peak, you know, and everybody will tell you that. This is the absolute top of the party. You know, it doesn't get better than this. The competition doesn't get better than this. You have people from all over the world. All the sponsors are here. I mean, it just speaks for itself. And when you're here, I say this every year. We do a lot of these interviews, you know, but it just feels like there's something in the air. You've been grinding all year with your team. It almost doesn't matter what you did the whole season. If you win World Cup, you've had a successful year, you know, and that's just the way it is.
It's do or die. There's no other option but to win. After all the tournaments that I played all my years, you know, it's a deeper part in my heart, and I'm sure in my teammates' hearts.
We're doing the things we need to do. We're gonna just keep doing these things, and we're gonna get there, and maybe one of these days we're gonna actually finish it out.
Of the 365 days in a year, and the 5 Sundays where the best paintball players and teams earn their glory, there is one day that has risen above them all to attain holy status. Sunday at World Cup. The end of things, like beginnings, hold both peril and promise. The past sits behind you, unalterable, but it does not define your future. The new day dawns, and with it, a new chance to fight for your dream.
All or nothing right now.
Go! Brothers on 3! 1, 2, 3, brothers! Welcome to the fucking show, baby! Follow me into the frame, man. We're going to fuck people up today. We broke the fucking curse, boys! I told you in my interview that we're coming. We're next.
I'm a competitive person at anything I do. I hate losing. My motivation is trying to not only be the best player, but to be on the best team ever and to build something great. I think I've seen too many people play sports, any sports. I think they take for granted the time that they have, and when they don't have that outlet for competition anymore, they lose a big part of their heart and their life. I really just want to appreciate it and really relish in the moment, because what we do is special, and to do such a cool thing at the pinnacle of the sport isn't easy, and you have to work incredibly hard to get there. So enjoy it while you're there.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. I was it was just all right.
Don't force anything. Do not give your body up. Do not give your body up. Because we understand, do not give your body up.
World Cup's an interesting event. It's only a handful of teams that actually in the NXL have gone to World Cup. Heat, Russian Legion, Impact, Dynasty. I think that's it. That's a small group. 4 teams in 4 or 5 seasons.
Everyone's coming out here playing their best paintball, giving it their all. The most work is put into performing at this event, and I know what it takes to win one of these events. You did a few years ago, and especially for the Ironman, you know, legacy. They've won back-to-back World Cups.
Don't show up at World Cup, it's a huge letdown, it's a huge bummer. That's the last thing you want to do, because it's almost like your whole year's work is for nothing.
It's the last dance. And for some teams, it's the last dance with the roster that you have. Whereas the previous events, you play with the guys, you're at the next event with the same guys. The World Cup's the last dance you have with the roster. Then you may lose a player that another team takes, or you gain a player, and then you're back with a different group and a different dynamic. So the reality that's, you know, you've built all year with this group, and that could be the last with that group.
You guys got to know, this was ours, 100%. We gifted them those 2 points and took it over. So we can't do that anymore. Bring it the fuck in. I don't want it loud. I want it for us.
One love.
match all day. You better give whatever the fuck you got on your side, goddamn body. Bring it out right now. Everything you got in your fucking heart, your soul, bring it out right now. Everything you got.
This last battle, the last of 5 Sundays, is reserved for only the strongest, wisest, and most cunning competitors. The favorites are here, but as long as you make it to Sunday, an opportunity exists for you to rise up, gunned up, and change your reality through force of will and gunfight skills. After winning Las Vegas, the road had been a treacherous one for Edmonton Impact in the States. They put up another win on the board in Prague. They were just not getting consistent performances from their roster this year to contend at the last 3 events in the US. World Cup was their current roster's last chance to prove themselves. If they didn't do well here, heads could roll, and we could see a different Edmonton Impact in 2020. The prelims at the World Cup was again a struggle for Impact. They destroyed Aftermath 6-0 in their first match, and then easily handled PC Katana 5-1, but then they ran into trouble. They lost to the Scrappy Boys from the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Uprising 2-4, and then lost a close 1-point match to AC Dallas, finished 2-2, and scrape into Sunday. But they would again have to fight out of the wild card round.
Lost close one to AC. We should have won 2-on-1 at the end, and they pulled it back. We just had a little mistake, but we just got to fix those little mistakes, and you got to be perfect in the World Cup.
For Sacramento DMG, World Cup was their 3rd visit to paintball's most important day in their 2 years as a pro team. After their 7th place finish in Texas, they took 13th in Philly and 14th in Chicago. They won their first 2 games against Boom and Infamous, but dropped their next match by 4 to X Factor. But then they took a win against Thunder, and their prelim record was 3-1. Welcome to the most important day of the 2019 NXL season. The first point started out well, 5-on-5 break, a good cross-field spread for both teams. Shane Howe for DMG and Impact's Nick Laval pushed into the center 50. But DMG lost Josh Halberg and George McLean from the D side, allowing Laval the freedom to bunker out Howe.
Nick Laval's going to look to make his move on Shane Howe now. They're going to trade out.
Mike Urena tried to attack, but Impact finished off the point, and they went up 1-0.
Urena, he's going to come back up to the 50, see if he can make something happen, but he runs right into Justin Rabakoff's gun.
With the early lead, Impact went with a conservative break in the next point, with heavy guns up. They got a shot on Hallberg as he tried to take ground and get into D3, but Impact lost Zane Yakimek and the body count was even, 4-on-4. Nick Laval got a kill to give Impact the advantage again. Mike Urena made a solid move to take him out and even the count. Then DMG lost Shane Howe. Urena had a chance to save it, but Impact was able to contain him, and they put up the point.
Close points, but Impact's winning those points. So we'll see if DMG can get it back here.
Now down by 2, DMG pushed into the wishbone at the 50-yard line on the snake side with Mike Urena and Shane Howe. They took ground. Impact was forced to play on their heels.
They're going to keep the pressure on Impact here with him backing him up now like that.
But McLean blew out his shoulder trying to push out on the D side, which allowed Impact some breathing room in their bunkers. It was still 5-on-5. Impact's Justin Cornell made the difference when he got a shot on Urena and then ran down Howe.
Here he comes.
He's going to get the drop here on Shane Howe. And nobody picks up JC, so JC doing damage control here to take out Shane Howe, the ageless assassin for DMG.
DMG lost another body. They were forced to concede the point to save time. Now down by 3 points with under 5 minutes to play, DMG ran reckless into Impact's guns, and their World Cup dreams died with a 0-5 loss. Impact move on to play the #1 ranked team, San Antonio X Factor, in the quarterfinals.
Love you guys, man. Good luck, bro. Good luck. Hope you guys win, man. Hey, good luck, bro.
Since the 3rd NXL event in Philly, Tampa Bay Damage had been resurgent, making every Sunday. They took 8th in Philadelphia and 7th at the Chicago Open. But World Cup didn't start out well for Tampa Bay Damage. They took a beating in their first prelim match, losing via mercy rule 1-7 to the Russians. But they came back and put up 3 straight wins against Revo, New York Extreme, and Elevation to punch their ticket into Sunday.
Damage has all the pieces they need to win an event. All the players on their team have won events. It just comes down to if they show up or not. Heading into World Cup, they can definitely be a favorite, especially if they, get hot in the prelims. We actually got to practice them, and they started playing really well. They started attacking more and playing really aggressive, and that's a damage that's kind of scary. They got a lot of bullies on that team if they utilize it.
They matched up in the wildcard round against Revo, which was a rematch from the prelims. Baltimore Revo had close 1-point battles in 3 of their 4 prelim games. They blew out Elevation. They lost by 1 to the Russians. Then they beat New York Extreme and lost to Damage to go 2-2.
Where you be, boys? Kelly and Cody are the zone guys. Where you be, boys? Kelly and Cody are zone.
Now jumping into this first point, Tampa Bay Damage taking on Baltimore Revo. This is a rematch.
The game started out well for Damage. They got Brian Smith up into the center 50, and Revo lost Dan Zaleski. But down a body, Josh Pike moved into the wishbone on the snake side and beat Keith Brown in a gunfight to even up the count. Chad Bougere then died on the D side to give the body count back to Revo, 3-on-4.
Jacob fills that spot. Brian Smith is going to get a free kill on Pike, so they had no idea that Brian Smith was still up there. That's a mental mistake for Revo.
Matt Derula saved the point by getting a shot on Brian Smith, and then Revo took the early lead.
Out. I don't think Jason knows who he is. Derula might get a free shot in on him. And yeah, he's going to come back out and then get shot directly in the back. So Derula now going to come across and try to pinch out the last player, Jason Edwards, and beautiful job by Matt Derula. So calm, methodical, he knew exactly where he was. And then as soon as Jason went on that tactical retreat, got shot in the back.
Next point, both teams quickly lost a body in their offense on the snake side. It was 4-on-4 until Chad Bougere took the initiative and ran down Zupa, and then he got another kill as well.
There goes Chad Bougere. He's going to jump in and then make a move right away to come get out Zupa.
Ooh, that was nasty.
And he makes it alive.
Nice job by Chad Bougere, man. He has his burst speed and his timing is impeccable.
Max Trailer tried to save it on the snake side, and it came down to a 2-on-2, but Jacob Edwards picked him up, and Damage tied the game.
You'll see him looking into the sun. He gets one. It's a 2-on-2.
He knows he's there now. He knows
but Max Trailer gets picked off.
Maybe this is their event. I don't know. Right now, they're about to be tied with Revo.
The first 2 points had run long, and there was only 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the match. Both teams got 5 bodies out alive. Brian Smith was the first to make a commitment for it again, getting into the center 50. It stayed 5-on-5 until 1 minute and 38 seconds left in the game, when Chad Bougere made a move on the D side and got the first kill on Pike in the backfield.
Chad Bougere moves up as well, and here comes another running ref.
Well, I was going to say, defense really hasn't worked, and sure enough, what happens?
2 more Revo bodies quickly followed him off, and Revo was forced to concede to save any chance to tie the game.
And there goes another kill. See, defense does not work. One good move was all it took here.
Revo only had 1 minute and 18 seconds to work with, so they were forced to run into guns. They got a shot on Keith Brown and Jacob Edwards, but they lost 2 bodies of their own. It was now 3-on-3 with 44 seconds to go. The Damage held the line, won the game, and moved on to play the Russians in the quarterfinals. AC Dallas was again one of the favorites of the World Cup. They'd only lost X Factor by 1 point in the finals at the last event, and they were gaining confidence at every tournament, every Sunday appearance. But the World Cup did not start out well for them. They got blown out by Seattle Uprising in their first game 1-6. They then took out their frustrations on PC Katana in the next game, beating them 8-2, and then they mercy ruled Aftermath 7-1. Their last prelim match was against Impact, which they won in a close battle 4-3.
I think that makes us 3-1. Hey, 3-1? Yeah, 3-1 right now.
Some dynasty ball there, huh? Let's go, boys. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team! D-Y-N-A-S-T. One!
San Diego Dynasty needed low-body heroics from Yosh Rao and Marcelo Margot in their first prelim game at the World Cup in order to keep them from taking a loss. But then they ran off 2 Mercy Rule wins in a row. Their last game was against Heat, which they won by 1 point. They finished with a 4-0 record in the prelims, and they were matched up with AC Dallas in the quarterfinals. Dynasty had not been able to beat AC on Sunday this year, as they were knocked out by them twice already, in Texas, and at the last event in Chicago. AC Dallas had been Dynasty's Achilles heel.
Right now, we are about to watch a rematch between San Diego Dynasty, AC Dallas, in the sense that AC Dallas has knocked San Diego Dynasty out of tournaments twice this year. They did it at the last event by 3 points. The Dynasty is going to want to get one here on AC Dallas to try to keep their hopes alive, try to win the World Cup.
AC Dallas exhibited excellent zone control in the first point. In a 4-on-4, they shot both Ryan Greenspan and Tyler Harmon, and then they took the early lead. Dynasty came right back in the second point. It was another 4-on-4 until Matt Jackson came off the D side, and the rest of AC Dallas was trapped in defensive positions.
Free situation in favor of San Diego Dynasty still.
They chewed up Dynasty as they pushed forward. But Ryan Greenspan and Arturo Andrade were able to excel in the chaos and tie the game.
And he gets riddled up by Arturo. So nice finish here from Greenspan, Arturo. They lost a couple, but able to tie this one up here.
AC retook the lead in the next point. Dynasty lost too early from the backfield. While Andrade was up the 50 wedge on the snake side, Ryan Greenspan moved aggressively down the Doritos. Matt Jackson filled out to the corner and was able to take out both Greenspan and Harmon to save the point.
Yep, John Jackson's asking for a check.
I think he might have got a shot on John, and he did. There comes Brad McCurley.
Brad McCurley is going to try to get the drop in on Arturo. Where did Arturo get shot?
Then in the next point, AC took out Tyler Harmon off the break. They lost Matt Jackson as he stayed in the back rolling his gun. Dynasty had taken some ground, and they were in great positions after things settled. Blake Yarber had made it to the 40-yard line brick and then got a shot on BJ Henningberg. It was 4-on-3 in favor of Dynasty. And then Brad got a left-handed shot on Yarber to even up the count.
AC Dallas side of the field, but he gets his head peeled off, so tough death for Blake.
3-on-3,
huge.
Margot and Greenspan were still pushing. John Jackson made a crucial shot on Greenspan. Marcelo was trying to get creative outside. AC went up by 2. There was still plenty of time left and Dynasty needed 2. They sent Blake Yarber to the D3 off the break. He went right into the 40 wedge and got a shot on John Jackson. TJ Danner also came off. It was 3-on-5 for San Diego Dynasty. Ryan Greenspan was shot trying to get past Blake, and they were both on the attack. And Yarber bunkered out Matt Jackson. They finished off the last 2 bodies and pulled within 1.
And that's going to be a quick one. They still need one more here in this now 3-2 game. Nice point though for Dynasty.
With 5:12 left in the season on the line, Dynasty sent Tyler Harmon on a creative route inside. AC Dallas dropped a shot on him as he tried to get into the wishbone. It was 4-on-5. TJ Danner lost a gunfight out of the back center to even up the count. Dynasty was swarming, but AC Dallas headed off their attack. And Matt Jackson ran through to finish the point. AC Dallas went up again by 2. The lead would hold. Dynasty was defeated by AC Dallas on Sunday for the 3rd time, and their season was over. It was another signature win for AC Dallas. They would move on to the semifinals to play the Russian Legion. Seattle Uprising came to play at the World Cup. Their schedule for the first 2 games could have been intimidating to a team with less mental toughness, but they beat Impact with ease, almost mercy-ruled AC Dallas, and then took down PC Katana and Aftermath to go undefeated. Everyone on the team was emerging as a huge threat and playing well in the scramble. They were finding a way to play offense out of defensive positions. The whole squad was thriving in pressure situations. Houston Heat also felt ready. It had been a whole year since they had tasted victory. Even though they'd been consistently getting deep into Sunday, they kept losing close games in the semifinals. In their quest to defend their world title, they started off with a mercy rule win over the Ironmen, and then ran into a tough Outlaws and barely pulled off a win 3-2. They also had a close game with the ML Kings, beating them by 2. and the close battles continued with a 1-point loss to San Diego Dynasty. But the prelims had sharpened their swords. Teams and top players may talk about the advantage of having close games, and maybe even a loss in the prelims, but it is another thing to have to live through it. But Houston Heat had made it to Sunday, and they were ready.
So, I mean, it's World Cup. This is like, obviously, the Super Bowl of paintball. Basically, winning a World Cup is like winning every event at one time together. Us as a whole this year, we've come together better than ever. Paintball is tough. You have 10 guys in a team, and there's a lot of egos, there's a lot of good players that want playing time. I think the atmosphere with our team has been better and better every event this year, with everyone playing close to each other, everyone playing for each other, and I think that's what gives us the upper hand in this event. We're coming hungry, we're trying to defend our title, and we're ready for it, man. No backs against the wall.
As a team, we're just trying to live in the moment and play one point at a time, one match at a time, and play like families. Just trying to be in the present, not think about what we've done or where we've been, but trying to be here now.
Let's go, Heat! Hey, let me get
the Uprising coach leading into this first point against Houston Heat said this is the most important match of their paintball careers.
That is no lie. This is absolutely the most important paintball match that Uprising has ever played.
In the first point, both teams went up the center, and it was a 5-on-5 break mirrored up. Borromeo traded out with Monville. Creek was at the 50 wishbone on the snake side and got himself a 2-pack.
That's possibly a free kill for James Creek here. Gonna get that when he gets two pack for James Creek.
Ryan Smith got a penalty for Heat, and the first point went to Uprising. In the next point, Uprising came out with a conservative break, but all 5 guns up did not produce a kill. Nico Hyde made the inside move to bunker Scotty Knight and give Heat an advantage.
What a beautiful move here from Nico Hyde for Houston Heat.
Chad George blazed down the field to finish it off, and the game was tied 1-1. Uprising then stayed in the pocket inside in the next point. The Heat spread Chad George out wide. Both teams lost a body and fought for position. The first to make a mistake was Graham Arnold, who died out of the back center for Uprising. At the 3:40 mark, James Creek was past the 50 and onto Heat's side of the field, but Brandon Olson got a huge kill to even up the count, winning a gunfight, getting a crossfield shot on Sam Monville in D1. There was a fierce battle between Creek and Chad George, and they traded out.
Creek does he win his gunfight on Chad George? Chad George comes over the top and I think trades out with Creek.
And then Olson got the drop on Ryan Smith to win the point, with just over 2 minutes left on the clock.
Uprising, look at this, 2 minutes on the clock, and they now take the lead, playing offense. James Creek started it off. My God, Uprising came to play some paintball here.
In the next point, down by 1, Houston Heat won 2 quick gunfights, and it was a horrible break for Uprising. There were no penalties, just great gunfighting from Houston Heat, and Ryan Moorhead sprinted in to preserve the time. The season was on the line for both squads, tied at 2 with 1 minute and 29 seconds left. Uprising stayed in the pocket and they got a shot on Chad George.
Moorhead got bounced too, so the break shots dialed in for Uprising.
Arnold pushed up into the center 50 and he got a shot on Fedorov as he tried to get into D2.
Just 1 minute, 7 seconds left to go. Graham Arnold now at the 50-yard line, and he might have just got a shot on the foot. He did.
Uprising then shot Moorhead, and Houston Heat was forced to concede the potential winning point.
So Houston Heat knows that they need to run a very quick, aggressive point here. Konstantin Fedorov said he would waste his body to distract Uprising. Chad George shut that down, saying they need Konstantin Fedorov alive during this next point. So we'll see what kind of aggressive play they can put together.
With just 47 seconds remaining, Chad George and Sam Monville ran up to the 50-yard line as Fedorov stood in the open and rolled his gun. George went up and over, pushing outside as Fedorov joined him on the attack. Uprising was just trying to hold on in their positions. After the first rush, Tucker and Olson were still alive. Olson at the backhand and Tucker at D1 with just 13 seconds left. Nico Hyde and Ryan Moorhead got the last kills, with Hyde, the last player left alive, playing the hero again for Heat and hitting the buzzer with just seconds to spare.
One body that they need to hit that. If he has enough time, he's going to lay out for it, and I think he got it with just a half a second, and it's Nico Hyde from the D side of the field, diving in, perfect form too, not hitting, can't hit the bunker to push the buzzer out.
It came down to overtime. Nico Hyde was shot off the break, and Uprising had an advantage yet again. Houston Heat looked like the more experienced team in a situation that they had been in many times. They shot out Borromeo to even the count. Then Heat took out Creek cross field, and a minor penalty was thrown.
And it looks like Creek's going to get checked out. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're going to lose another one, too. Penalty assess, this is just terrible. I didn't like that game plan at all, and then that's going to do it. So, unfortunately, what a great story, but it's about to end unless Graham Arnold can pull off a 1-on-4.
Houston Heat took the come-from-behind victory, and they moved on into the semifinals. Their chance for 2 World Cup wins in a row was still alive.
We own this shit now! All day long! All day long! Way to go!
I mean, Uprising did just about everything they could possibly do out here.
Yeah, but as you well know,
yeah.
there's a reason why there's a lot of the same teams over there on that one side with all the winners, and there's 20 other teams over here that can't seem to put it together.
Yeah.
And it's because you need to make the right decision at the right time. Individually, big games make names. Why are all the guys on Heat legends? Because they have games like this.
Yes, we are 26 points ahead of Russians. If we get second place, it's a guaranteed lock. If they win the tournament, we get third or less, they win. What do you think? I was writing checks to my mouse at the beginning of the year. It's fucking World Cup. It's time to cash in. We're in the lead. So I got to make sure we hold on to it.
After their wild card win over DMG, Edmonton Impact went on to play one of their arch rivals. Over the past few seasons, San Antonio X Factor had no answers for Impact's attack, as they lost to them 9 times over a 3-year stretch on Sunday. But this year was a different story. Mid-season, X Factor had dethroned everyone and become the best team in the NXL. X Factor was again on cruise control throughout the prelims at World Cup. They beat up on Thunder and handled Infamous and DMG with no issues. But they only beat Boom by 1 point. Since they had won the past 2 events, X Factor was the undisputed favorite, not only in this quarterfinal matchup with Impact, but also to win the whole thing. Impact was warmed up after they had just destroyed DMG 5-0 in their wildcard round.
Now, San Antonio X Factor and Impact have a long history of playing against each other. You can see the brackets there and how the teams fought through this Sunday bracket to get into these spots.
X Factor has just been on a roll. You can't take it away from them. And you just really notice it by the way that they go out there every single time. They're just playing with confidence. Their communication is just perfect across the field. They know everything that's going on. And you can expect any guy on that team at any moment to have a big play.
Well, Roberts is going to reposition to get into D1, so a couple moves from both squads.
Impact dropped the first point when after a 4-on-4 start to the match, Colt Roberts got the shot on Brandon Cornell and Zane Yakimek drew a penalty.
It's going to be getting a penalty. It's going to be a minor. That's going to pull out J-Rab. That leaves just the ball up there. And looks like Colt Roberts is going to run him down and make quick work at Impact.
Impact roared back to life in the next 3 points. They took advantage of high body situations and a penalty on X Factor while winning gunfights and moving up the field.
You know, and he can shoot shots on the inside. Nick Laval just waits to make his move, and he comes and takes Meter out, shoots Meter in the back, and lives. And it looks like Ryan Brand is going to go ahead and concede that point.
Again, beat X Factor, and it looks like Ryan Brand has had enough. Wow. There's no one quicker in the league at the concession horn than Ryan Brand. As soon as he feels that his team doesn't have much of a chance, especially in a time situation like that.
The score was 3-1 with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left. After a similar breakout, X Factor sent Woodley up the center. Cornell came off and a penalty was assessed on Impact. Alex Goldman picked off a few in the 3-on-5 after some time had been whittled off the clock. And then Woodley got a kill, and Billy Bernaccia ran down Justin Rabikoff, and X Factor was only down by 1.
And I think Billy's going to get some payback here. He got bonus ball in that last one. There's not a lot of blood lost between these two squads.
With 3:21 left, X Factor lost Archie and Billy Bernaccia off the break, and Bernaccia received a penalty. Miner Ninos was pulled. It was a terrible break for X Factor, and they were down to 2-on-5. Then Colt Roberts and Woodley clocked in.
Not the greatest position to be in a 2-on-3. 2-on-2. Can X Factor win this low body situation here? Nickel ball comes across and tries to pinch out Woodley. Oh, and then Brandon's gonna get shot too, so look at this in a low body situation.
But after Woodley and Roberts carved up some bodies, it was Nick Laval's turn. Laval won the 1-on-2, shooting Woodley first and Colt right after.
What a huge moment for Nick Laval. They're playing on their heels. They had the high body situation, a 3-on-2, and Rabakov is pumped up now. Impact in the pits. Oh, Justin Rabakov is feeling it.
Still down by 2, it was a must-win point for San Antonio X Factor. One more point for Impact, and it might be the coffin nail in X Factor's amazing season. They needed to take ground, so they sent Archie with a big break all the way to D4. But then Billy Bernacchi was shot trying to crawl up to his next spot. X Factor shot Justin Cornell for the break. There were no snake attackers for either squad. Colt and Archie were pushing up the D side. Woodley was on his feet at the center 50 looking to attack. Woodley bullied his way into a kill on Alex Goldman. Rainey then shot Justin Rabakov. The bodies dropped back and forth, but then Colt Roberts dropped the hammer on Nick Laval, and then he ran down Brandon to finish it.
Trying to figure out where these last foot bodies look. It looks like execution for Colt Roberts, comes over the top and blasts Laval, and then goes and gets that last kill.
Impact could not hold the line. X Factor was refusing to lose. Woodley slammed on the buzzer to pull within 1 and give X Factor a chance.
2-pack for Colt Roberts to keep X Factor in this match. Nice job by Woodley as well, too.
At the 1-minute mark, all 5 bodies were alive for both teams. Woodley again was looking to attack up the center. Rainey pushed up behind Billy Bernacchi. Woodley went on to Impact's side of the field, and Impact was stuck mostly in the pocket. Colt Roberts committed to the D side wedge. Woodley was the first to strike at 31 seconds left. He got a shot on Brandon Cornell. Laval and Rabakov pinched him out, but the full court press attack from X Factor was just too much.
20 seconds here. Impact still just bold and strong. And there goes Justin, and it's Cornell and Mal still alive. They're trying to find him. They don't know where the bodies are. 12 seconds, and there goes Billy. Billy's going to launch. He's going to shoot Cornell in the back. I think they're going to have enough time. 6 seconds left, and Archie Montemayor is going to tie this one up here to take us into overtime. Still 4 seconds in regulation. Battles. Wow. Here at World Cup, the crowd goes wild. Heading to yet another overtime here. We've seen a bunch of them at this event, but man, my God, respect to X Factor. They didn't have much time to work with, but they found a way to get through, and Todd chalked that up on another one. Defense not working. No, defense not working.
In overtime, Rainey Stanzik and Colt Roberts both put their guns towards the D side. They got a shot on Brandon Cornell. Rainey then coasted up the center. It was 5-on-4.
Or if you're X Factor, try to get up the field a little bit. And here goes Nick Laval in the center, and now he's in position to maybe go execute Rainey.
Billy Bernacchi got the clutch shot cross field on Greg Sewers.
5 still. Oh, and the next body to drop is going to be Greg Sewers.
Impact was now down to their last 3 bodies, trying to keep their hopes alive. Stanzik went on to Impact's side of the field, drawing the move from Nick Laval. Montemayor then got the shot on Laval, who received a penalty. Alex Goldman went into the wishbone to try to make something happen.
Billy's going to put the finishing touches on this one, and it looks like Archie was also still alive in the center. So yet again here this year, X Factor refuses to give against Impact, comes back and able to get this win to knock Edmonton Impact out of the tournament, and Impact just can't get out of the quarterfinals since Vegas. My God, San Antonio X Factor has another chance now to win yet another tournament. It would be 3 in a row, but they're going to have to get to the reigning world champs Houston Heat first, and that's going to be the matchup in the semifinals.
We're just getting better. We're just getting better.
We will get better, but we got to work on ourselves first, and we got to work on being better to each other as a team, and that started last night, and it worked today.
Hey, listen, we can say we ain't made a lot of mistakes and everything else, but we made Sunday every tournament, correct?
Right. Absolutely.
Yes. Every tournament.
If you look at our losses, guys, they're 1, 2 points overtime losses.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 of those goals
and we're fucking laughing.
We're playing in finals.
Exactly. Zane said that.
It's the fucking spirit of the game. Exactly. It's gonna happen. We got lucky all those years making 22 finals in a row or whatever. It's paintball. Let's fucking do it next year.
Let's go, boys.
3. 1, 2, 3.
Family. Let's go, boys.
Keith coming back to Damage, I think, is a massive, massive improvement and a huge pickup for him. It was only a matter of time before he did come back, but his speed is just kind of unmatched, and his ability to be a bully on that side, I think, is a huge strength for them. This season, he hasn't been incredibly aggressive for him. Like, he'll run to that one spot, he'll try to get those kills, but maybe it's Joey's plan with him that is kind of pulling back the reins a tiny bit. If he is kind of let go and told to kind of really, really push and really be aggressive and be a bully, I think that he'll be even bigger of a weapon.
A look at the Russian Legion's numbers at World Cup over the years is a glimpse at elite measurements of excellence. Since 2003, they've won paintball's biggest event 3 times, and they have been to the finals 8 times. X Factor had stolen the Russians' mid-season momentum, and a win here at the World Cup would be the capstone to the Russians' already stellar legacy in this game, and their first victory in Orlando since 2010.
If you want to win World Cup, I think you need to do a lot of job, a lot of things. You need to fix a lot of small mistakes. I don't want to say the huge thing because I never won the World Cup, you know, but I feel we're ready. We're ready.
Also at stake was the 2019 XL Series title. They only trailed X Factor by 16 points. If they won this event and X Factor stumbled, then they could take both trophies back home to Moscow. But they would first have to get through Tampa Bay Damage in the quarterfinals. The Russians beat up on Damage in elevation in the prelims, but had close, 1-point games against New York Extreme and Baltimore Revo. They started their NYX game digging themselves a giant 1-5 hole, and then they stormed back to almost win the match. After missing 2 of their starting 5 in Chicago, the Russians were back at full strength for the most important event of the year. The Russians had crushed Damage in the prelims, and the first half of the game looked like the result on Sunday would be the same.
Regulation time, Russians now the number 2 ranked team, and it looks like Damage is going to be losing both of their bodies on the D side here.
Damage drew a minor penalty in the first point, and the Russians made quick work of the remaining players.
Drop it.
Damage won the 4-on-3 and tied up the game with 4 players alive.
That is going to be a real solid point here. It really came down to those off-the-break shots that Tampa Bay Damage was able to wing in.
Damage put up the second point, and the Russians railed off 4 unanswered points in a row. The Russians were gaining momentum.
When Karslev just shot Chad Bougier, and now it's going to be a one-on-one here. Oh, and a major penalty assessed on Tim Montresor. Oh, disaster strikes. Damage just can't see the heat grinding the gears and can't quite get it going over here.
What the fuck? Drop it.
Keith Brown though, so this is the battle here too. Monster Snake players. Oh, look at this though. Smotrop gets the drop in and gets the 2-pack here.
Jacob Edwards' frustration in the pits. He is being sat for this next point. Him and Keith Brown started arguing in the pits, with Keith Brown being angry that Jacob needs to be sat because of his mental game, saying he needs to be stronger and go out there to help his team win.
Damage was finally able to clear their heads, and then things started to go their way. The game went back and forth until it was 6-3, with just 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. The Russians went heavy guns up. They knew Damage would have to push fast, but Sergey drew a penalty. Damage had lost 2 bodies when veteran Dan Holliday ran through to finish off the point.
Here goes Dan Holliday, knows the score, he knows what's going on, and he's going to come through, he's going to get one, he's going to get a free one on Smotrop. So I think he missed Smotrop. Dude, just go hit the buzzer, Dan.
Then in the next point, both teams lost their attackers on the D side off the break. The Russians lost Sergey again, and it was 3-on-4. Keith Brown went into the snake. Brian Smith made a move past the 50 in the center to take out Smotrop. Jacob Edwards and Tim Montresor finished it from the D side.
He's just one player and he quickly gets polished off. So telling you, defense not working out here at all. I don't care what team's playing.
The Russians were barely holding on. Damage pushed hard into the wishbone with Brown and Smith, but Smotrop shot Brown and then tried to run through, but another penalty was assessed.
Like Smotrop gets smoked and you're going to ask for a penalty. Are we going to see it?
Because the major was assessed in under 60 seconds, the point swung to Damage, and the game was tied.
Brian, it's a major. If he misses him, it's a minor.
That's why the referee went in to make sure that he actually put a ball in.
Absolutely.
Hey, we need a little more control there, dude.
Hey, shut the fuck up and listen. We win as a team, we win with discipline. We don't run around like fucking retards. Tighten the fuck up.
It came down to overtime. Damage lost Smith off the break, then Jacob, then Holiday. And the Russians off the break shooting sealed their fate.
Just trying to figure out what these last couple bodies are left alive. They're very anticlimactic overtime point, 35-second point essentially.
The Russians would advance to the semifinals to play AC Dallas.
Thank you.
Point approved. Game finished.
Хорош, -2 на разбежке, нахуй, и потом пизда. Володя, хочу творить чудеса.
Еще раз, guys.
I know this doesn't feel good. I know this feels like shit. I know this is really bad. And I know we put ourselves in this position. We lost points we shouldn't have lost. But the fact that we had this much grit and this much fight, like don't dwell on the fucking loss. Dwell on what we did here and fucking train harder. We need to put more work in, and that's the bottom line. Everyone needs to be better, and that's the only way this team's gonna advance, right? I mean, that's the facts, right? So we went from a team that wasn't fucking doing dick to a team that's made Sunday every time, that's been in every fucking match on Sunday -1. But the other ones were fucking all both super close. Things we can do to be better to win those matches. We are a fucking winning team. We just have to fucking fine tune the fucking small issues. That's it.
Unfortunately for AC Dallas, their season's end was also anticlimactic. After going down 2 to the Russians to start their semifinal match, AC Dallas was able to win some gunfights and put a point on the board. But after that, the Russians took off and they never looked back.
On the attack for the Russians to put their 4th point on the board, trying to knock out AC Dallas and not let them get to the finals for what would be the 3rd time here in 2019.
Come on, man, we're not fucking done.
AC just didn't have an answer, and their World Cup run was finished. The Russians took the convincing win 6-1, and they moved into the finals, looking like the unstoppable machine that they were just a few months ago.
Right, all season. We've been fucking right here. This is it. Let's fucking go leave it out there and fucking be the monsters we know we are. Come on, we know we are, all right?
After the close battles in the quarterfinals, more of the same was expected in the semifinals. Houston Heat and X Factor had only played each other once this season, in the semifinals at the last event in Chicago, and it ended with a 1-point win for X Factor.
On their standard, they're definitely underperformed this year because they haven't got a win yet. They got close. They gave away the lead they had in the last tournament to X Factor. It's a new event. You got to come back and work. No one cares. A year ago, you're the champs. I've learned that before.
But it wasn't meant to be. Instead of a close game, what happened was a blowout loss for X Factor and a flawless run of 6 unanswered points and an amazing performance for Houston Heat.
Hey, we come back 1 point at a time.
Why do we not fucking go? Fuck!
Typically, Fedorov and Mishka do play well come World Cup. I mean, I think Mishka has 6. So, I mean, they're performers when it comes to this event.
And unbelievably hyped up, Konstantin Fedorov put the finishing touches on this Mercy Rule victory here, potentially.
Heat completely shut down X Factor's offense, and they were masterful with their off-the-break shots. They were finding their World Championship form at the exact moment that they needed it.
It's going to take every fucking ounce of everything that we have to repeat what we did last year. And we don't even want to think about last year. What we really want to do is get everybody on the same page and know and focus on every single play to the best of our ability. And it's going to take heart, it's going to take execution, and it's going to take everyone being together. You know, if one person's off of the playbook or off the page, or even mentally, physically, spiritually, then it's not going to happen.
Well, first of all, it's sports, and in every sport there could be some miracles. And second is just the desire of the biggest desire of each individual to pick it up. And when you have a mixture of those two facts, and mixture of those two things together, such kind of miracles are happening, and you could see them coming. And of course, the backstage of that process is a little bit karma things. We are in the sports, and we know how every time the coin can flip on the other side, and usually the second time the side is not yours again. Yeah, so that's a metaphysical process, and we can only guess how that happening.
For me, yeah, if I go, for me, opponent over there, yeah, doesn't matter, friend over there, not friend, but this opponent. After game, okay, we go, shake hands and smile. But I think for some Russians, this is like a rivalry, and this is problem, because when you want too much kill someone, he kill you first, yeah. And I think this is big problem, and that's why you need to go to war without nothing on your head, yeah, just straight.
I need to tell you that we took second place last cup, and I believe it explains everything. Like seriously everything. And we've never had such a great season for many years so far. We have managed not to make any bad steps through the whole long season in both leagues, in Europe and over here, by now, so far. Because once again, as you told, being like through all of the eras of my team, I clearly remember in 2017 too, when we lost to Revo in prelims and didn't go through the prelims in the cup, and I'm having this pressure on my shoulders too. But all at the same time, for me personally, that was nothing so frustrating as taking second place last cup, because time is going, I'm not getting younger, I spend much time on that, and I finally started to feel that usually when I was younger, I was thinking, okay, next cup, okay, next cup, okay, next cup for sure. But this time, I take every cup as a very special thing that I can miss, yeah.
You motherfuckers play the game you know how to play, which is smart, fucking punch them in the face, fucking paintball, okay? We'll make adjustments if we have to. We're gonna go with the same five that we played against X Factor, but you other guys, be ready to fucking go in.
Though the semifinals ended with little drama, the finals at the NXL World Cup would be another story. It would be a game for the ages. After the dismantlement of X Factor, Houston Heat looked primed to win another world title. They were facing a Russian machine that improved its dominance mid-season and desperately wanted that #1 spot back.
Have some fire, some fucking passion. Go out there, do it harder, faster, stronger. Got it? Hey, this is it, boys. It's all in the fucking line. Be a fucking family. Fuck these motherfuckers. Let's go. Come on, Heat. Ready? Team on three, boys. 1, 2, 3. Hard, boys.
Hey, Devin.
Houston Heat went with heavy guns up as Smotrov tried to take ground on the snake side for the Russians. Sergei Slonaiskov and Kirill Pridny came off right away after the break, and it was 5-on-3 for Heat. Karslev went into D4 on a delay. He was shot trying to get to the 40 wedge. Malloy moved across, but it looked like it was going to be just a matter of time before Heat took the point. But then Leo Smotrov got a 3-pack, and it looked like he was going to pull off a miracle and steal the point.
Oh, he let him know he's going to get the drop on Konstantin Fedorov and Leo Smotrov. Unbelievable, a 3-pack here in a low-body situation. The young phenom.
But it was Ryan Moorhead who ran through on the D side after the death of Malloy, and he stole the point for Heat.
It's the main attacker. He throws a pod into the ground.
In the second point, it was a clean 5-on-5 break for both teams. But then Sam Monville was shot out of the center for Heat, along with Ryan Moorhead too. Sergey and Karslev pushed hard up on the D side, and Kirill Pridny went up the center, and the Russians tied up the match.
Russians, after losing that first one, coming right back, getting quick kills, continuing to their onslaught and their aggressive play, winning 1 point right here to tie it up.
Here comes a big move by Konstantin Fedorov as he's going to come off and he's going to smoke his former teammate Malloy. He's also going to get a two-pack here, and he's going to get another shot in on Kirill Pridny as Konstantin Fedorov gets the kill cross-field on Karslev, and he came to play some paintball yet again. You can never sleep on Konstantin Fedorov at the World Cup, man.
Here comes on the move, Chad George steps out to the outside to get that shot in on Smotrov, but Chad George gets shot from the Dorito side, Sam Monville gets shot from the Dorito side, then Fedorov gets shot on the fill as well. Beastly.
Да. Тебя касается. 3 человека стреляют в змею. 3 человека. Да, Сань. Я в четверку забегу, пушу и пойду.
Is over here in the 50, but Heat breaks through on the other side. Looks like Nico Hyde is still alive. I think this is a one-on-one situation.
Oh, and it looks like Smotrov might have caught Nico Hyde. He's asking for a check, and then Smotrov's gonna, get that kill. Nice job by Leo Smotrov.
Both teams battled back and forth, neither squad wanting to give an inch until it was tied, 3-3, with just under 7 minutes to go. Smotrov stopped at the backhand to edge out and shoot the snake. Then he tried to get out wide and was shot from the back bunker on the snake's side. 3 more bodies followed him off. Heat had a perfect point, 5 bodies alive, with masterful zone control and gunfights again to take the lead 4-3. The Russians again held back Malloy and Smotrov to shoot lanes off the break, but they lost Malloy in the process. He also got a shot on Smotrov. It was 5-on-3 for Houston Heat. Fedorov pushed down the snake side into the wishbone again and had a 2-pack to close. Heat was up by 2.
And now he's off to the races. He's going to get an easy crossfield kill, and then that is going to do it. Blows a couple kisses to the sky and bows to the crowd and goes and puts another point on the board for Houston Heat. It's their 5th point, and now Todd, a 2-point lead. What do the Russians need to do right now?
The Russians again went with heavy guns off the break. They also put multiple guns toward the snake side. They got a shot on Chad George. They lost Sergey in a gunfight, and then Heat lost Fedorov, who was clipped from the back center. It was 4-on-2 in favor of the Russians. Just as the Russians were looking like they would put up a point, Malloy got a penalty, which brought it to a 2-on-2. And then Smotrov got shot out of his spot, leaving just Golev.
Coach right now, his hand is on the buzzer. He is waiting for something to happen. So Golev needs to understand that and just try to go get this point.
With around 2:30 left, down by 2, the Russians let Golev play it out. He got shot trying to push forward.
A 3-point spread with 2:20 left to go. That's a big, tall order, even for the Russians.
They had to recklessly attack and toss caution aside. They thrive in these moments, as they have been here before. Russians run and gunned off the break, pushing up the center as Heat tried to hold on. Fedorov was shot trying to get across, and then Sam Monville received a penalty. Legion took full advantage of the gift, easily clearing the rest of the field to pull within 2. The Russians were again pushing into the guns of Heat. They lost Sergey off the break. Lost multiple gunfights, and Smotrov stayed alive in the chaos. He was able to hit the buzzer to give the Russians a chance, leaving just enough time to get in a full point to potentially tie the game. Now down 1 with 1:09 left, Karslev went into the wedge, running and shooting off the break. And all the Russians running and gunning to their spots.
Here comes Malloy down the middle. He shoots Chad George in the back. Malloy bunkers out in the back center.
But the legend, Alexander Burtnikov, pulled off a clutch 4-pack run-through up the center to tie the game.
With the pressure on him, it just makes them even better. And he's pretty good on a Thursday afternoon. Let it be Sunday with the sun going down in a 1-point game against Houston Heat.
Here we go. 27 seconds on the clock, and it is tied at 6. Who's going to win the World Cup? That's going to come down to who executes.
The Russians went for the win, and Heat held on against the attack. Smotrov went past the 50 wishbone off the break to draw the guns out wide. And then Kirill Peredny went over the center 50 on a delay. But Smotrov was shot, and with just 9 seconds left, Malloy took over his spot to keep the pressure on Houston Heat, forcing a counterattack from Konstantin Fedorov. San Monville was shot by Karslev, allowing Kirill to make the run-through. And then chaos ensued.
Fedorov, but the Russians are going to try to steal it from that D side. Do they have enough time? Sergey's going to stump on the buzzer and steal the win with 2 seconds. Kozyrev is going crazy right now on the sidelines. The Russians are selling it to the crowd. Absolute pandemonium here in Orlando. We're going to have to review this. The Russians are selling it. Heat is selling it. Jason Trozin was getting an ear beating from Karslev as Pavel Karslev immediately came over to yell at Jason, you need to review that immediately. Unbelievable. We couldn't have got a more dramatic finish here. The Russians are celebrating like they won.
I'll tell you, I'm going to explain what's going on. Okay. The call in was good. The call in was a major penalty on Kirill. I'm going to go review it. Okay, so right now, point Heat. Okay.
Both teams were celebrating and trying to get the crowd onto their side as the commissioner went in to review the play and decide the fate of the series title and the World Cup victory.
Unbelievable dramatic finish. We've never had a closer World Cup game. I can't even remember the last time we had any finals game this close. Houston Heat spilling out on the field.
The penalty was assessed on Kirill, and the World Cup was awarded to Houston Heat.
At the World Cup, Houston Heat repeating 2 years in a row that Houston Heat is our World Cup champs. Unbelievable performance for pretty much everyone on the squad.
Tell them right now, last year was 6, I'm a 3, this is 7-time World Cup champion, baby.
Houston Heat stepped up. Obviously, it's the only way you win a World Cup. But that man right there on your screen had some huge plays.
.46 confirmed kills. That seals up the golden barrel, so we will be giving Malloy the golden barrel. He gets the golden gun, he gets the golden barrel.
With Konstantin Fedorov, your pro season MVP. Come on, let's go!